Thanks for tuning in to Born to Ride TV, the longest-running biker TV show in the world. This week, Krista Grotte talks Nation's Fire and get ready for Rocktoberfest. And an exclusive interview with legendary actor Bruce Dern on the set of Nation's Fire. All this and more here on Born to Ride. I mean, it's really cool that we got to bring it back to Florida to film, but hell, we were filming 24 days or so in LA. I mean, we were in Burbank in the studios. I was like freaked out, and Krista says, thankful that I was a part of it, but man, you guys gave me a great opportunity, and I'm never going to miss an opportunity like that, so I had to deliver. But man, so inspiring in LA, the hills in LA, and then we brought it back to Florida. Like you said, the biker community came out, and they're a part of this, man. You guys are a part of Nation's Fire. We're going to do a premiere. It's going to be big, but it's going to be a good movie, so you got to check it out. It's a reality. You know, it's like The Godfather isn't just a movie about gangsters.
Right.
Nation's Fire isn't a movie just about bikers. It's going to make you cry. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to take you on a roller coaster ride of emotion. So when I'm talking about emotion, Krista, I got to ask you, you played some heavy scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
Where does it come from deep inside? What inspires you to do these roles? Because you're taking us, all of us, on this trip of a movie for a roller coaster ride of emotion. And how do you get prepared for that?
You know, as an actor, for me, it's a benefit that I've walked the trenches in my own life, because that's something I can use to relate to my characters that I play in the certain situations that they're in. And I know that oftentimes, ironically, when I play a role, there's only a gamut of emotions that you can portray. And I think about times where I've exhibited the exact same emotion, and I put my mind back there. So I try not to think about anything in the future that could happen that would make me cry or scream or get into that rage or those emotions I have. I think of things that are the past. That way I don't attract further situations to me. You know what I mean? Because I strongly believe in that. I believe what you think about, you bring about. So I focus on the past. And there's some losses in this movie that, and we've all experienced that. Every single one of us. I mean, that's what makes us who we are. And the losses I've experienced, a young man who I had pass away in my home under my care, changed me as a human being forever. It was a friend of my son's, and I know, I dedicate my role in this movie to him as, a way to kind of just show my love and gratitude for him being a part of my life for the time that he was.
What's his name?
Devin Carbo, yeah.
So emotion runs deep. So you're saying that a lot of the emotion you felt was from real life experience?
Yes, absolutely, because my emotion needs to be real. I'm not going to fake it. I don't put in fake tears if I'm going to cry. This is real. So I'm simply just, reliving moments that I've experienced, and it works for me. Everybody has their own way of doing things, but I do what works for me, and I think that it showed pretty well in this movie.
Well, so I mean, you're not new to acting, people. What I would say is this is her breakout movie, and Hollywood better get ready for Krista Grotte. But you've been doing this for over 20 years.
Oh yeah, I've been doing it forever. I mean, and it's something that just is a natural part of me. Even though I don't have much of a relationship with my own blood family, I do know that there's a lot of artists and performers and nutcases, down the line of my generations. So I think that all works together for me and my craft. I use that. So I just try to turn something negative into something positive and hit it.
Everyone was right, I was born to ride.
Born to Ride is a multimedia marketing and promotional machine with TV, magazines, streaming radio, and internet advertising opportunities. There are tens of thousands of motorcycles. We reach the people who ride them. Born to Ride. Find out more at borntoride.com.
It's been such an honor for me to work with you because you're so inspiring. But man, let's talk about Nation's Fire, because I mean, you killed it in there, but it's such a family type of story, man. It'll get in your heart.
It really is, and I think that, you know, that was the goal with making this movie in the first place. Of course, we want our action, we've got that drama, we've got the realness, you know, life imitating art, vice versa. But at the end of the day, it is all about that family bond and how people come together and kind of disregard the societal norms in order to look out for and take care of each other. And that was our goal with the message in this movie. So I think that we've accomplished that. It's about wrapped and ready for you know, distribution. So we're real excited about that, and I can't wait to get, you know, our community's thoughts on it. And I just hope and pray that we make everybody proud. That's the main goal. And you're a big inspiration too, Ronnie. It's been amazing working with you. You know that. And just your creativity is just mind-blowing sometimes. The ideas that you've come up with and just the things that you've arranged for us to accomplish in making this big budget movie. So it's, you know, it's been a real honor, and I'm like really ecstatic about it. It's a dream come true because we wanted to do a biker themed movie for a long time now. I mean, like 10 years now, and you know what, we finally did that. So I mean, that in itself is something to be very proud of, you know.
Well, I mean, for sure, and you know, talk about the biker community being proud. The biker community in Tampa Bay was part of this movie, man. How cool was that? Scooter Haven, Screwy Louie's, and we brought a couple hundred bikes. The guys from California were like, damn, are these all actors? How did they get these people? That's our biker community that came out when we called for them. Was that not awesome?
It really was awesome. And you know what, honestly, when we were there, and I know everybody, things got rough that day too, because there's so much hurry up and wait, and we're having to get all these bikes ready to do a long unity run that stretched a couple miles. And you know, so we had to stage all these bikes and prepare for that, to do it as safely, obviously, as possible, get everybody on the cameras, under the drones. And it was pretty amazing because, you know, everybody, you know, did what they needed to do, stayed the whole day. You know, they were real troopers about it, and like, I really appreciated that. And I got emotional just hearing the rumble of all those bikes and just seeing everybody turning in one after another after another after another. And we're seeing all these people show up to Scooter Haven. The llamas, you know, these guys showed up, and I mean, with pride. To me, it was just such a blessing to have, you know, all these guys and gals a part of this and be proud of this. And so that's why I want to return the favor and hopefully make them proud as well with this movie. This is a Florida homegrown movie, you know?
Nation's Fire, man. I tell you what, it's a roller coaster ride of emotion. I'd say Vertigo meets Born Losers, you know, Kill Bill, the whole 9 yards. This is twisted beyond that. Krista, any last words?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you've done. Thank you, and Debbie and the whole Born to Ride team. I mean, we're so appreciative and thankful, and I just want people to know that. And thank you guys too for being so supportive. I mean, there's absolutely nothing like the biking community. Nothing, and I couldn't be more proud to be a part of it, and that is why we wanted to do this.
All right, guys, there you have it. An exclusive interview. Krista Grotte, Nation's Fire, right here at Rumble at the River. Stay tuned. Bruce Dern exclusive interview is coming up.
If Instagram is your thing, we're there. We're everywhere. Follow us at #Born to Ride Motorcycle Media, your #1 motorcycle resource.
Basically, bikes. I started my career doing a lot of, well, not my career, but early in my career, I did about 11 biker films in 5 years, most for Roger Corman. And we had a group of us, 4 or 5 of us, Jack Nicholson, myself, Dennis Hopper, Peter Fonda, Michael Parks. We would be the guys that would do the biker movies. And there was a lot of acid and stuff in those movies, so they were kind of drive-in movies. Nobody's ever made a really great motorcycle movie. Ours were kind of exploitation movies for drive-ins, and that's what they did. And we'd make them for about 160,000 in 10 days, and they'd make $5 or $6 million in the drive-in. And they made a company called American International Pictures, AIP, and Roger Corman. What attracted me to this material was the dialogue and the care for relationships that weren't working, that were broken. And from what you just saw in there, that these people would carry on like that in front of a 7-year-old little kid is disgusting. But I've had people in my life that have done such things, and I'm sure a lot of other people have too. And I like the fact that somebody wrote that down with a passion to get that on screen. People see it. I don't know what Tom's background is, but trust me, there's something going on there that we saw in this movie. And it makes sense, and it works. And the most interesting thing about it is it's audience orientated, because there's no age group that should see this movie except anyone between 10 and 80 or 90. I'm 80. So it's just because, and the bikes aren't what the movie's about. The movie's about behavior and people and heart and courage, and this girl being out to go out there and get done. When I was 11 years old, my mother said to me, "How come you never come home after school? Your track practice," because I was a big runner, is over by 4:30, 4:45. You're never home till 6:15. What do you do? I didn't have a good relationship with my mother. I said, well, I go out and do stuff. I have a friend, I go out and do stuff. Well, what do you do that's more important than coming home and being on time for things here? And when in my house, you had to wear white gloves to dinner and dress in a suit every dinner for 18 years, from the time I was 3 years old on. And I said, I tell you what I do, Mother. Me and my friend like up. And that's what I loved about whoever wrote this script, because he may have waited till later in his life, but he's saying, hey folks, if you want to go these kind of routes, this is what can happen. And it is people that, because of their human spirit, rose above it and, excuse the expression, but got us done. You know what I mean? And the whole thing that I say in the movie about one man, one horse, and this is what it is, you know, is synonymous with the bikers. The thing that's neat about it is, this is not a Western, but it is what the Westerns were about. This is a Western because it's still on motorcycles, which is why people left East St. Louis every April and went 15 miles a day in a covered wagon or on a horse by himself all the way to Sacramento. And not for gold. This was even before gold. They went because they knew the following phrase, if you take the song, and that's what this movie's about in the bike culture. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. And what do you think he saw? What he saw was a chance for a bigger tapestry, like the pioneers saw. That's why when these guys get on bikes, whether the old lady's on the back or not, they are doing something no one else is really doing. They're getting out there, and they're not risking their lives, but they're risking to find what they really want to find. It's like in Catcher in the Rye, Holden Caulfield says he wanted to just grab the brass ring. That's all these folks want to do. And they just don't want to be hassled by people on the way, and all the negativity about bikers and outlaw motorcycle gangs and everything else. All the bikers I was around, and I was around from Sonny Barger to all the Hells Angels in Oakland and San Bernardino and everything else, and the bona fide outlaw guys. And on my jacket in this movie, it says 1% here. That's because they're the 1% of society that thinks they don't belong or don't fit. And all they want you to do is just accept them. They want to be accepted. Everyone I knew in the days we were going in the 60s were all Korean veterans, and they were the most patriotic guys I ever knew. Their biggest day of the year was Memorial Day. You know, now they don't even celebrate it on Memorial Day, but all the bikers do. They wait till the 30th of May, and that's when they celebrate it, because that's when it is. So there's there's a history here that in the movie makers and the crew and the productivity. I mean, I'm here one day, and I saw 20 days of work done in a day because everybody pulled their oar. And it's very rare to see. And we're talking wildcat crews. I mean, I don't know where all you came to. I don't think you've done 10 movies together, you know what I mean? And it's a joy to see, and it's a delight, and there's an energy here that is really interesting. But the biggest thing is the story itself and the pictures that the story will show you. Because the man didn't make a movie about bikers. He made a movie about people. And as long as he stays that way, that kid will do big stuff. And as long as people like you have faith in a kid like that, to hang in there with him. He's got problems. He's got to learn about time constraints. He's got to learn about he doesn't have as much to spend as he think he does. But he molded a group of people together in a short period of time that worked just like a team. I never heard anybody yell today. I never heard an argument. I never saw anything. It was just smooth. That is really rare. So if the folks get out and see this movie when it gets out, and you got to get it out there, and it will get out there. I don't know who you go to and show distributors, but any distributor would be nuts not to pick up a movie like this, because this is money. You know, I'm not saying it's going to win Oscars or anything like that, but it's going to get the folks' attention. And not just the folks that go to biker movies, but people that want to know why we behave why the way we do in times of crisis. And that's what this does. And you have a little girl's point of view, an older man's point of view, a guy in prison's point of view, and the city or wherever it is point of view of who those people are in their community. And that's really all I have to say, but that's what you got here. You know, you got lightning in a bottle. If you carry it on from here, you know, you're great.